You know, this road, this progression with the brand has really been crazy. Just a little backstory. Sayless Lifestyle, established in 2020, March 2020, to motivate and inspire a generation to say less and do more. But back in high school, Trenton and I were athletes, basketball players, and we would always say to each other, you know, Trent and I wanted to go to college, we wanted to play college basketball, we wanted to get scholarships, we wanted to take it to the next level, you know? And so being any sport, you gotta put in the work, especially with basketball, because there's so many people, especially in America, that play basketball, you know, and that want to make it to that next level. And so we had to put in that work each and every day. And, you know, just working out together. I was in Maryland, Trent was here in Niagara Falls, but we would always just be communicating. We had a couple other friends, you know, we were on a group chat, you know, all trying to get to play college basketball, always working out. And one word that we would always say to each other is say less. You know, I don't need to tell people the work that I'm putting in. They don't need to see me go post on Instagram, yo, I'm in the lab, I'm in the gym right now, 5 a.m. Nah, we just did it. And we let our results do the tugging for us on the court. We didn't need to talk trash on the court. I didn't need to go tell my homie, yo, like, I'm really nice with this basketball stuff. You feel like, no, it was just say less and do more. Work in silence, so just also the talking. And so that was back in high school, and we were like 15, 16 years old. We had a couple shirts made, because we said say less so much back then. We had a couple shirts made that had that Sayless logo on it. I try to put a picture right here or something. And so, had those shirts made just for the four of us. Me, Trent, shout out my man Don, shout out my man Bry. Just for the four of us, had some shirts made that said Sayless classic logo. And we didn't think much of it then. We were just like, oh, this is just for us, you know. Back then, we was kind of playing with the idea. We was like, yo, like, this would be kind of tough if, like, you know, we turn into a clothing brand one day. But back then, like I said, we were so focused on basketball that, like, we wasn't even really trying to take it to that next level, you know, with the clothing brand. But so we had those shirts. By the time I graduated from high school, I had gotten a full ride to a Division III school, which I'm at now. And Trenton had got a scholarship to a Division II school out here in Buffalo. And so, you know, that whole Sayless Lifestyle mantra, you know, actually helped us achieve our goal. And so we saw we had something with it, you know. But, you know, going into our freshman years of college, you know, we was just so focused on, oh, like, we achieved our goal, and now it's time to turn it up with this basketball stuff, you know. It's really focused on basketball. But it's crazy how God works. God always has other plans, you know. We as people, we always got plans of our own, but it's God that has the final say, you feel me? As everybody knows, in 2020, the pandemic, the whole world basically shut down. And so I remember I was coming back home. I was about to finish up my freshman year of college. I was going back home for spring break. This was in beginning of March. Went back home for spring break to Maryland. Left Chicago, went back to Maryland. You know, was chilling. I'm like, yo, you know, basketball season just ended. I'm like, you know, that's cool. I'm about to go back home, come back to school, finish out the last 2 months of school, you know, and just like live life, you know, really enjoy the college life. Get back home. I get an email on my phone one day from my school. And basically the email said that due to increased concerns about the COVID-19 pandemic, we're basically going to extend spring break another 2 weeks. I had barely heard anything about COVID. You know, it wasn't like people was really knowing what it was back then. It was still like kind of on the low. You know, it wasn't too much news coverage about it. But my school was like, they just said, hey, we're going to postpone you guys coming back. And they actually said we're going to cancel the rest of the spring semester and make you do it online. And so I was like, what? I was like, this thing must be pretty serious. Later that day on the news, I saw, you know, the NBA said that they were suspending the rest of the season. Like a whole bunch of stuff started closing out because of this COVID-19 thing. And I'm like, yo, like, this is pretty crazy. And so now by this point, you know, everybody's at home, nothing to do, all in quarantine. I'm sitting there in Maryland just like, wow, like, you know, my life literally just changed in an instant. I was expecting to go back to college, finish out my freshman year, and now I'm sitting at home with nothing to do. Trenton was at home, you know, same thing has happened. He was actually at prep school in Canada. Sent him back to the United States, told him to stay because of this whole COVID-19 thing. And so we're at home, you know, trying to think of things to do to be productive in our time. And then one day it just came to my mind. That's what I'm saying. It really had to be God. Like, just out of nowhere. I didn't thought, like I said, Say Less, when we were doing the whole Say Less shirts, stuff like that, that was back when I was 16. We were 15, 16 years old. I'm 18 at this point. And it just came to my mind out of nowhere. Like, remember those shirts? Remember those Say Less shirts? And so I really just texted Trenton one day. I said, yo, remember we said we wanted to make Say Less a clothing brand one day? He was like, yeah. I was like, is there, like, why not do it now? You know, ain't nothing going on. He said, say less. And the rest is history from there. And so it's really crazy how, you know, we just took action on an idea. You know, we literally started with nothing. We started with $0, zero knowledge. None of us had ever ran a business ever before in our life. I had like a little, I would make websites for people on the side, but that was like freelance. That wasn't like anything serious, like an actual business. That just goes to show it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter what your pockets are looking like right now. Like, none of that matters. All that matters is that you have a strong purpose. You have a reason why you're doing what you're doing. And you have a strong desire to make that reason why it come to fruition. And that's what we did with Sayless Lifestyle. Like I said, started with $0 and just learned as fast as we could everything, whether it's how to actually produce clothing, marketing, advertising, getting our name out there, like all these different things that come with running a business or running a clothing brand that we just learn over time. And it's really crazy that we just started only 2 years ago. I was back in March 2020. It's August 2022 now. If somebody would have told us back then, like in 2 years you're going to be where we're at right now, we would have never believed them. But when you're really dedicated to something and when you know that's going to impact a lot of people, like, you kind of have no choice but to make it happen because you got that strong desire inside of you. And also, this is something that Trenton says a lot, but you know, you gotta have a strong mastermind group, whether it's you and your homie, you and your girl, you and your sister, like anybody that's with you and y'all two see the vision together. It could be 3, 4, 5 people, you know, y'all in a group and y'all know a way that y'all want to impact people. Y'all got a brand y'all want to start, or y'all want to start a trucking business, or, you know, a food truck, like whatever it is, you know. Y'all put in all y'all resources, mental resources, financial resources, energy, all that together. You know, Trenton and I is 2. 2 is better than 1. And like I said, we've been in the game for 2 years, but really it's been 4 because the 2 of us have 2 years combined. You feel what I'm saying? So definitely, I'm not saying you can't make it on your own, but it just makes it way easier when you have that mastermind partner. But yeah, we started in March 2020. We started with print on demand. So we're using a website called Printify, and we just use that to really kickstart our business. Because like I said, we had $0, started with nothing. And so it's basically like drop shipping with t-shirts. You know, this is the first shirt we started with. Maybe I see it through. Yeah. Started with this, put it for like $30 on our website. Didn't have any inventory, just put this on our website. If somebody bought it, we would get $30, and then we would go inside of printify.com, put in that order, maybe pay $15 so the person could get the shirt made, get it shipped out to them straight from Printify, and then we keep the $15 difference. You know, over time that kind of helped us, you know, stack up a little bit with our profits and just get our name out there, really get the ball rolling. And then we eventually moved from that to screen printing. You know, taking in blank merchandise to a screen printer, let them print our logos and designs on it, and then eventually getting to the point where we can produce the merchandise ourselves. But it's all a process, and it's all about, you know, knowing yourself. You know, for some people, they want to be real hands-on. They want to make the designs really intricate. Yeah, for that, like, definitely you want to make the merchandise yourself and really be hands-on with it. But sometimes, you know, like even for myself personally, like I like to be more focused on the brand side of things, you know, posting content on social media, running Instagram and Facebook ads, things of that sort. And so, you know, it's kind of, in that case, you may want to start out with the print on demand route because you don't have to worry about any inventory, any merchandise on hand. You can just focus on pushing your brand out there, and there's other people taking care of you. And you're just basically paying them a little bit of your profits to do so. But yeah, starting a clothing brand, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's easy. It definitely takes work, but it's simple. Success is obedience to laws. You just have to, there's certain principles and steps that you got to learn, but it takes time. You're not going to learn it overnight. But everything comes down to knowledge, and not just knowledge, but applying the knowledge. If I know a lot of stuff, if I knew everything I knew now about Sayless Lifestyle and how to run a clothing brand, but I just didn't apply it, we would be nothing right now. So you got to get the knowledge and apply the knowledge. With that being said, if Trenton and I knew what we knew now about running a clothing brand back in 2020, we basically could have got where we're at now in half the time, just because we knew. Half the time and this brand was spent with us learning what we needed to do to be successful. And we're still learning every day. That's the beautiful thing about life. You get better every single day. It doesn't matter how high you get. There's always one piece of information that could take you to that next level. So always be committed to learning. Never stop learning. At the beginning, we were really focused on influencer marketing, and kind of like too much. Influencer marketing can be good because business is all about social proof. Would you rather buy from a business that has 700 followers on Instagram or 700,000 if they're both selling the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Social proof is definitely very important in a business, and getting certain people to where your merchandise is good. But I think we're too focused on thinking that, if we send our merch to this rapper and they posting it, it's going to change the trajectory of our business. Not really. It could definitely be a good step. And really, it's a lot of combined factors that come together that really help you take your brand to the next level. So unless it's somebody like, LeBron or Little Baby, but even then, people have to see your brand 7 times on average in order for it to really click in their head and for them to want to buy. So, if you're starting a clothing brand, definitely get your merchandise to as many people as possible, but don't focus on trying to make like a home run move, like, oh, if I send this celebrity my merch, like I'm gonna make 100 orders in a day. It really doesn't work out like that. But definitely get your merchandise out to as many people as possible, and really take over your local area. With us being based in Niagara Falls, I could walk around, like I'm sitting outside the shopping plaza right now. I could probably walk inside one of these stores and I have a good chance of seeing somebody in this t-shirt right here, because we focus on taking over this Niagara Falls area, whether it's just giving out wristbands or, just being on the streets. We used to be out in the streets selling merch. We would text people on our phone like, yo, I got t-shirts on me, I got hoodies, like, what's up? Hitting up our friends, family, stuff like that. We just had a kiosk, in the Warden Galleria Mall out in Buffalo. People buying merch out there all the time, seeing our logo. Even if they don't buy anything, they're seeing us all the time. And really getting this area on lock. If you want to make a global impact, you got to start locally. And so yeah, stuff like pop-up shops. If you have the opportunity, get a kiosk in the mall. Really just get your brand out there by any means. People have to see it. People have to know what's going on. And if people see your brand like so many different times, they're going to be like, wow, like they're going to notice it eventually. It's going to stick with them. Like, this is crazy. Like, I want to be a part of that. If they see, respectfully, people are followers, so if they see a lot of people in your shirt, they're going to want this shirt eventually too. And another thing on top of that, when it comes to designs for your brand, like, yeah, it's a clothing brand, so you want it to be drippy, you want to have some good designs, some good, want to have some flair to it. But my advice, and what helped us to be successful, is stick with one main design. For us, that's this classic tee. And of course, we've had different designs that's been successful, but when people think of Sayless Lifestyle, they think of this shirt right here, the classic tee, because this is the one design that we stuck with. This is the one design that we sold at the beginning, the one design that we pushed on social media, and people kept seeing it and seeing it. If you're in a room and 10 people walk in a room, it could be from one brand, but 10 people walk in a room with 10 different designs, 10 different colors, it's not going to resonate. If you've never seen a brand before, it's not going to resonate in your mind that this is all the same brand. But if 10 people walk in a room with this same shirt, with this exact same classic tee on, you're going to be like, yo, like, what? I need that shirt. What is that? It's going to stick with you. So, really stick with that one design, that one hit at first, and you can kind of grow from there. At the end of the day, it just comes down to how bad do you want it. Come down to your desire. And if you have that strong desire, you're going to do whatever it takes to get to your goal. And that's another thing too. You have to know what your goal is. What's your reason why? Why are you doing this? It shouldn't be because you want a lot of money. Of course, yes, we're in business to make money, but if that's your main reason why, you're going to get burnt out quick. If you're going to chase money, money's going to run away from you. You got to attract money by becoming a certain person, by making your brand a certain brand that attracts money to it. Focus on your target audience. Focus on the message behind your brand, how your brand is impacting people. Focus on your content on social media. Content is king. You should be posting every day on social media. There is no excuse. You should really be posting. We first get started 3 times a day, TikTok and Instagram. Those are the 2 main platforms, specifically TikTok. You could go on TikTok right now with 0 followers, never had a TikTok account ever. Get on there right now, post 1 good video at night, wake up the next morning and have 10K followers. Like, that's how crazy TikTok is. So really use TikTok to your advantage to build your audience. Also use platforms like Instagram, YouTube, but definitely stick with one at first, so you can really put all your energy into it and just post. Like I said, people need to see your brand, whether it's in person, them getting the merchandise and seeing it, on social media, them seeing content about your brand message. All those things matter. All those things lay the foundation for you to be successful with your clothing brand. But yeah, know your reason why. The one who has a reason why can bear any how. There's going to be a lot of adversity when you first getting started. Man's faith is tested many times before he is crowned with final victory. You're going to be tested to see if you're really serious about this business. If you're just doing this just, like I said, if you just want to make a quick buck, you just want to be famous or popular, that's going to be exposed. The first couple months of your business, you're going to really see your real motive behind running this brand. And so when it's bigger than you, when you want to impact others through this brand, you really want to change people's lives with your brand message, even when it comes down to the money. If you want to build a better life for yourself, you want to build a better life for your family, change the trajectory of your family through this brand, that's going to motivate you every day. No matter what happens in your business, no matter if you're getting 0 sales, no matter if people aren't rocking with your content at first on Instagram, you're always going to be motivated by that reason why. And it's going to motivate you and encourage you to get better so that you could get to your goal. So if there's one takeaway you get from this video, know your reason why. The one who has a reason why can bear any how. So yeah, those are just a few things, Like I said, running a clothing brand is simple. Just following the steps. But you definitely have to learn a lot. So, those are just a few steps that I learned, that Trenton and I learned throughout running this clothing brand, Sayless Lifestyle. Really crazy the progression, taking it from $0, 0 followers, literally nothing, to, at the point where we are a multiple 6-figure business that provides, Trenton and I don't have jobs. We're running this brand full time. And it's really just a blessing. Over 500,000 followers on TikTok, 50K on Instagram, and just getting better every day. It's really a blessing, So if y'all want a part 2, if y'all really want to learn, I just kind of covered the steps from, starting from nothing really at the beginning. If y'all want a video on like really how to take the brand from the beginning and scaling it, to the 6-figure level, and really just whatever you want, really taking the brand to that next level, make sure you leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. I'll definitely drop a part 2 on like more in-depth steps on how to scale your business, how to scale your clothing brand. But last thing I'll say, be a creator, not a competitor. People may say, oh, everybody has a clothing brand. There's so many clothing brands out there, it's really saturated. You shouldn't do something different. I'll say this to you. Nobody has ever seen your clothing brand before. There's so many different types of people in this world. There's I think at this point there's 8 billion people on this planet. There's not going to be one clothing brand that's going to be for everybody, So like for us with Sayless Lifestyle, our brand is really targeted towards athletes, motivated individuals, people that need that motivation to go after their goals. That's a pretty niche, it seems like it's for everybody, but that's a pretty niche audience that really rocks with our brand. There's brands, even looking at designer, Gucci, Louis V, Prada, YSL. That's really for that high-end customer market. There's brands that are like based on faith. There's brands that are based on, music. Like there's so many different things you start your brand on. And really like know your interests, know your passions, know your reason why, know how you want to impact other people, know your target audience, and go from there. There will never be another person like you, and there will never be another clothing brand like yours. So don't feel like you gotta compete with anybody. Be a creator, stay in your own lane. Say let's do more. I'm out of here. Let's get it. Let's go. You got this. Let's get it.